the heart of Scotland's largest city sits our busiest railway station. Glasgow Central is the hub that connects millions of people in communities all over the country. For station staff, keeping Central's passengers moving is the constant mission.
It's a scary thought to think you're managing something as big as this.
And with over 100,000 visitors a day, no two shifts are ever the same.
Yeah, you've got to muck in. Everybody's got to muck in.
I can see if anybody for the head office is coming in to catch me out. That's always good.
Right, I'll be lost without the railway in Glasgow Central.
This time on Inside Central Station, stormy weather causes havoc.
We've got about 2 miles of track underwater. It's just chaos in the station, to be honest.
The line's flooded between Lockerbie and Carlisle.
You wouldn't think it would rain in Scotland. Unbelievable.
For 140 years, Central Station has been the gateway to Glasgow. The 40,000 square foot main concourse welcomes 38 million travellers a year on up to 1,300 trains a day. And a huge army of hard-working staff keep the station running around the clock. From train drivers to customer service assistants, maintenance workers to cleaners. It's their job to adapt to every surprise the station can throw at them, keeping on top of the changes that happen minute by minute, every day. ScotRail's general manager, Kat, joined the Central Station team around a year ago from nearby Queen Street Station.
A customer came up and he says he'd seen a Billy Connolly sketch. And Billy Connolly said that when he steps into Central, you can feel Glasgow seeping up through the soles of your feet into your body, and I think that it captured it right well, but the feel you do get, the buzz and the atmosphere in the place. But it's a great team that does their work in here. It is, I've said that before, you've got a team, but it's like a family.
Kat's keeping an eye on the morning's developments.
The gates
the gates are fully manned, and we're only one down the back shift, so it's
fully manned today. That's good. Any problems with the weather?
No, so far so good.
But that's set to change as the country is bracing itself for some stormy summer weather.
An unseasonable deep area of low pressure is heading towards us from the Atlantic, and it will bring heavy rain and it will bring strong winds too.
The heavy rain isn't just falling on Glasgow. Around 25 miles away at Kilwinning Station, another Central staff member has already had a run-in with the wet weather while making her way to work.
Like a wee 15-minute walk, get here today soaking, terrible weather, and it was a monsoon whole way. So I'll be nipping in the way to work to get a new pair of trousers for the shift, and then I'll be hanging mine up to dry. So in a new pair of socks, my feet are absolutely soaking. But fun way to start the shift. Here we go.
But a morning drenching might not be the only consequence of the heavy rain today.
Check my emails to see if anything's starting to come through about the weather. So, no, I think we'll definitely be in for a wee touch of disruption today. You can see the water rolling down the window there. It's certainly not getting any lighter as we're heading into Glasgow either. In fact, if anything, I don't know if it seems maybe a bit worse. We're just about to pull into Glasgow Central, and checked my app, we're coming into a bit of disruption already. So we have got our incoming Guruk has been cancelled because of an object being caught in overhead lines. So that could be quite a bad one, obviously, because we'll need to get the overhead line guys out to come out and remove whatever's on the line. So that could be because of the weather, quite possibly the winds has blown something on. So that's got potential to give us quite a few problems. We're coming into a different platform that we'd normally come into, so there's your first sign that things are not right. So normally we should be coming into platform 15 on this train. We have a lot of changes in the railway. Railway constantly changes. It's like a living organism almost. That can be really frustrating for us on the floor when you've got mass disruption. So we've got 10:57 Weems Bay cancelled. So that has probably been because of our Gourock issue. Our Lanark's running late as well. So now we'll see what's going on.
Bad weather can cause any number of complications to rail services. This morning's disruption affects trains to the Inverclyde town of Gourock. Right now, it's unclear if services on the line are ready to begin running again. CAT needs to keep staff informed of the latest updates.
All stopper, and we're still just as well.
It's about communication, that's the main thing. We've got to get that communication out and fast.
11:25 Gourock is going to be running all stops,
right.
but that is definitely running all stops. Will you shout up to base just to confirm that that is running?
But in a busy station, things can change at a moment's notice.
Your 11:25 is only going to Paisley now. We've just changed it. It's only going as far as Paisley.
It's all changed today. The 11:25 to Gourock is now terminating at the very first stop.
But there is bus replacements down there anyway. If anybody gets down to Paisley, there'll be buses down there. We'll head on down there. All right, bother.
Now the job is to let passengers know they can use bus services while the Gourock line problem is fixed.
We can just be advising passengers here to use a McGill's or a first bus instead and use their ticket on that, and it gets them en route quicker and probably home quicker.
Despite the disruption, passengers are kept moving. Just one cancelled train can cause mayhem on a busy morning in Central. But there was a dramatic period in the station's history when whole train lines were under threat of cancellation. Dr. Richard Beeching is remembered as the mastermind of the huge cuts made to our rail network in the 1960s. His work remains controversial to this day. Writer Gordon Webster has an interest in how the Beeching project affected Scotland.
British Rail hired Dr. Richard Beeching as a consultant to establish which lines and stations principally were making a profit and which ones weren't. It was found that out of the whole British network, about a third of that was only accounting for about 1% of the revenue. You can imagine that's largely rural lines, but urban areas were looked at as well. We're next to the River Clyde. There was two railway bridges. There was this one, and there was one further down at Glasgow St Enoch station to the east.
The bridge which once took trains to St Enoch station still exists, but the station itself was closed under the Beeching Cuts.
St Enoch was one of the big casualties of the Beeching Cuts, and it subsequently closed in late 1966. It was possible just to simply divert all the trains to Glasgow Central.
Mr. Atkin, why are you closing down St Enoch station?
Mr. Clark, it's nearly 100 years since St Enoch station was first opened. Tremendous number of changes have taken place in that 100 years. Changes that we in British Railways have got to keep times with and keep pace with. The days of St Enoch have gone.
When St Enoch station closed, Central Station's traffic increased. And as the years moved on, railway technology was modernising as the age of steam ended.
Operationally, things became easier in terms of routing trains across the river. The track work was simplified as well, and with the newer electric trains, you could actually often, have 2 or 3 berths at the same platform together. And whereas in the days of steam, there'd be a lot of engines having to make their way between the station and the depot.
Will Central Station be able to cope with the additional traffic?
Central Station, a place that is already used by about 85,000 people a day. A station which is probably, indeed in my opinion, the best station in Scotland. A station where we're spending a lot of money to improve amenities for the passengers.
But one area of Central Station services was closed entirely under the Beeching Cuts.
The low-level line completely shut, so Glasgow Central low-level station closed in 1964, along with the whole line out east towards Dalmarnock, west towards Partick and Clydebank, at least till 1979 when the low-level line got expensively rebuilt.
So the Beeching project's most radical cut to Central's services was reversed only 15 years later. And the reopened low-level service remains a busy part of the station's traffic today. On the main concourse, the station team use Central's electric buggies daily to assist passengers with mobility needs. They are essential tools in keeping the station moving efficiently. Shift Station Supervisor Alison already has another weather-related crisis brewing.
Switch. Oh, that one's already been on. Our buggy has broke down at the top of platform 1 due to the rain, so it's become waterlogged and has broke down. So we've never had that issue before. So that is
not one of the
our mobility buggies, yeah. That's
Did it get waterlogged?
Have we pushed it out, I take it?
No, still out there.
Oh, we should push it out the rain. Right, we'll go and get it out the rain. Action, you see, action, straight away. Just as well I haven't changed my socks yet. So we'll go up and assess it first. I love the chaos. Absolutely love the chaos. Don't wish it on MD, I don't. I truly, truly don't. But I do love it, yeah. It's, I think it's just because I do like solving problems. So it must be right at the top because we're not seeing it yet. Oh.
Customer service assistant Hayley was driving the mobility buggy when it broke down.
It's still up there, so I had to go and grab another one. I took a passenger up to the very top of the platform and it's absolutely pouring. And when I come back off to move the buggy, it's not working, so it's broken down. So that's us one buggy down for the day, so we're quite busy, so it's going to be challenging.
If they can't get the broken down buggy working, it could make this busy day even busier.
I think they've got it working again. I think Alison's driving it.
Oh, soaking. Oh. The joys, the joys. We've got a step here. They are a wee bit awkward, that's the problem. So you pull it out, it's for people who need a wee bit extra to step on. So you put it back in. If it's not in properly, the buggy won't start. So usually you just give it a kick and that usually puts it back in. So I think because it was raining so much, they just automatically assumed it was the rain that had caused it, but it wasn't. It was the drawer, the step was out. Did somebody use it? Mistakes happen, we all make mistakes, but it's just something to laugh over later.
A rainstorm's never far away in Glasgow, and today's torrential downpour has caused complications all over the station. But Kat and the station staff have managed to keep things on track.
It's a busy one, so lucky I had a quieter day on my own diary from doing an assist. But yeah, it's been busy.
The next day, the weather has dried up and the sun's come out in Central. But as this Saturday morning progresses, it becomes clear that yesterday's heavy rainfall has had serious consequences further down the West Coast main line, the busy national route that links towns and cities between Glasgow and London Euston.
Heavy rainfall has flooded roads, rail tracks and raised water levels across the country. Flooding between Carlisle and Lockerbie closed the West Coast main line, with Network Rail Scotland saying water levels had risen a foot above the track.
Virgin Trains team leader Martin is keeping the stranded passengers informed near their usual departure point at platform 2.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I can see the 140 is delayed.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about the 240 yet?
At the moment,
250?
everything's delayed. The line's flooded between Lockerbie and Carlisle.
Right,
So until they get the flooding to subside and then check the line, make sure it's safe to bring trains up,
right,
we won't have anything.
right.
But as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Right,
Where
so
are you going?
Carlisle.
Once we get trains running again, it'll probably be a case of getting everybody on the first available service.
Right, right. So we
The
don't...
before shut as well. That's why we're not running buses.
What else is shut?
The motorway, 74 shut.
Right, right. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah.
But every cancelled West Coast mainline train seats up to 600 passengers. So as the disruption continues, the station fills up with affected travellers.
So basically there's flooding at the moment at Lockerbie, so there's been no trainage running since 10:30 this morning. We're just waiting basically on an update as to when the track will be up and running again.
Heavy rain can cause ground erosion, which could make rail tracks unstable and unsafe, which is why flooding has stopped London services entirely.
Happy birthday to you.
But the train cancellations aren't dampening everyone's spirits.
Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray!
We're heading to Blackpool to celebrate Samantha's 30th birthday, and we're stranded here in Central Station. Happy birthday, Sammy. Cheers.
After 3.5 hours without any London Euston departures, passengers are keen to know when services will restart.
But if you stay here just now, we're hoping to have some news soon. My colleagues try to get my control just now to find out what's going on.
4 o'clock one's back to over.
I don't know yet, mate, honestly.
It's sickening the way we run the business in this country.
Unfortunately.
We've got kids, youngsters with us, you know.
I understand, but we can't get the trains through the water. We can't run buses because the
Yes, we in
A74
this
shut.
country. Every time we have a bit of rain, why aren't we prepared? And it's not even a bad winter.
Sorry?
Okay.
Where are you going?
Milk Keys.
Train can't get through a section. There's not much you can do. If they could hover, it would be brilliant. Come up and over and back down again. But unfortunately, that's that. Every day can't be perfect. So it's just a case of, right, we're going to have a tough couple of hours, so you just need to try to smile.
Go and find somebody. I'm just wondering if there's been any update on the train to Blackpool.
At the minute there's nothing at all. There's no information. Once we get information, obviously the announcements will come through, but at the minute it's absolutely nothing.
Right.
Okay. Sorry about that.
And we can't get on the train.
We can sit the train if you want. We can sit the train. We can
That would be
there's just nothing going. So the train's not going anywhere. So we can do if you want.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay.
Let's go and get the girls. Thank you.
At least the birthday party can get started on board.
Bear in mind though that we actually aren't going anywhere yet. We will party here on the train. I'm on the water. I need to get the bag as well. Sammy, what was in your little bag? Oh.
But by 2:15 in the afternoon, with no London Euston trains having run since 10:30 this morning, Martin's still coping with stranded passengers.
Hiya. I've been told that there's no train to Wigan.
At the moment, no.
and there's not likely to be one today.
Hopefully we'll have some information soon.
I've got a 4-year-old with us, and
I understand. I am hoping to have information for you in the next hour.
in the next hour.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stephen.
The next hour.
I got hold of control. I just want to confirm with Network Rail that it's going to be alright to send trains south, and if so, then they're going to run the set number 2 as the 1440. They don't want to confirm it just yet until Network Rail have given them the thumbs up. So at the moment we're still getting any movement, but they're working on it.
That's a Roger. Are good enough for you?
I didn't understand it.
Hopefully I have a train at 2:40, but sit in your seat just now until I confirm it.
2:40.
Hopefully. My colleague Stephen's just trying to get it confirmed with control, so hopefully I get a couple of smiles on people's faces soon. Alright, as well as mine. 2 trains on the move for Carlisle just now. Waiting on confirmation, we can use that as a 2:40.
Okay.
Alright.
Knowing that the announcement of the first London departure since this morning is imminent, Martin gets waiting passengers organised. With 5 Euston-bound trains cancelled so far today, it's going to be a busy service.
Join the queue. Did you see the other woman that was with it?
She's going. The one you spoke to.
She had the 4-year-old? No. She had a pink top, didn't she? She had a 4-year-old and she was more worried about, I think she was going to Wigan. She used to tell her to join the queue, because as soon as they see that moving, people start to panic, so we'd take her over just to try and help her, but I can't see her now. Join the queue.
What you suggest?
Trust me.
Trust you?
Join the queue. Join the queue, right.
After over 4 hours of cancellations, the West Coast mainline passengers are finally boarding.
Take anyone in there.
Cheers!
So this one's going first. We'll get another 2 in, hopefully go back to normal timetable. But it's trying to let people know that they've got plenty of time to go on this. Because everybody's just panicking, so 2 minutes. Can I go on? Can I get lifted to your eye?
Thank you.
Oh, hiya. This is going to Wigan.
And the family Martin was looking for have turned up.
High five, right? How are we doing? She alright? It's good to see everybody getting on their way. That's just the way it is. That's just get on with it the best you can. Try to smile. That's us. So, cup of tea now.
The London Euston service disruption isn't the only reason the station is busy today. This Saturday afternoon, trains towards the Ayrshire coast are running and carrying a well-heeled type of passenger.
Well, we've gone down to air races. Day out, these guys are all from Dorset, come up here especially just for a day out of air races. We're hoping the weather stays good for us and we're going to win lots of money.
Just a nice night out. Local Scottish track.
Birthday gift from my mother and sending us off, so tickets, so we're going to the Rossi Suite. So kind of meal and drink, so we're looking forward to it, yeah.
The ladies get dressed up, make a day of it. Ladies' Day, so I'm not sure if I should be there or not.
Fascinator. I hope I have. I'm trying not to lose it.
Hopefully come back in a good condition.
Yeah. Try our best anyway.
Right.
Most of the air races revellers will return through the station later tonight.
Yes, sir.
See the 1709 Transpennine, it normally goes from which part? Because sometimes it goes from the 1.
Usually it goes from there, but it's not going from anywhere tonight. It's cancelled.
The 1709 is cancelled.
It is.
Today's flooding has restricted the number and speed of trains allowed to travel, meaning some services are still facing disruption. Rail operator TransPennine Express runs trains from Glasgow Central to destinations in the north of England. And conductor instructor Gavin is at the sharp end of this afternoon's cancellations.
I'm just checking up just now. At this moment in time we're in what's called customer service level black, which means the whole line's just gone. Major flooding. We've got about 2 miles of track underwater at the moment. You wouldn't think it would rain in Scotland. Unbelievable. It's just chaos in the station, to be honest.
Gavin has to help his disrupted passengers find alternative routes to their destinations.
1709.
Yep, it's cancelled.
Yes,
okay.
cancelled.
Yeah, totally cancelled, right?
Okay.
So 1740 Virgin service, get on that till Preston.
Okay.
Change at Preston, you get a train to Manchester.
All right, thank you.
All right.
The flooding has restricted the number and speed of trains allowed to travel, meaning train operators like Virgin, who are back up and running, will accept TransPennine tickets.
We do help each other out in certain circumstances. It's a case of let's work together, get ticket acceptance in place and just get passengers moving.
Great fun.
And then we've got 1740, 1800 and 1840.
Well, you still done better than us tonight. Much better than us. It's a family feel in Glasgow, so we always do and try and help out where we can. Like all good families, we do have our tiffs and our fights, but no, we're quite good for each other most of the time. It'll be about 10 minutes of Preston. I'll be our train to Manchester.
Right, thank you.
All right. And if that's cancelled, there's more options at Preston to get you there.
Finally, by 5:40, all of Gavin's ticket holders are now safely on their way. But on the concourse, there's always another inquiry.
I love the customer side of the job. If you can break the ice and just try and have a little joke about things rather than letting the pressure keep building and building and building.
Hi.
Is it sensible to get onto any London Euston train? I'm booked for 1740, or is it best to wait for the booked train that I've got?
1740 is the first one, but it's sensible to get on the first possible train to get out of here.
Right, yeah.
Especially today.
Near the main entrance, a familiar institution within the station building is having a very busy day.
LEDs just getting put on the wall, it's been put on the ceiling. Wiring just needs to be completed for that, for the light to be on in both them things. The brackets are getting put up just now, that's for the digital menus.
The Blue Lagoon fish and chip chain is a family business run by the Italian-Scottish Varese clan since 1975. Alessandro is the third generation of the family to work for the company, and today he's presiding over a complete refit of their Gordon Street branch.
There was about 3 or 4 different contractors all at one time, but it's the usual thing when you're pushing to go home. It's always a race against the clock, contractors on top of each other, but they're all good people and they all work well together, so yeah, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours away from full completion.
It's now 5:30 and the shop needs to be open at 7 o'clock to meet the dinner time rush. So the teams are racing to finish the refit in time.
Yeah, boys working round the clock. Still. Right, listen, I'm in the middle of cleaning the alien, I'll phone you later. Right, bye. Bye. Brother.
There's one stalwart of the shop who has definitely survived the renovations.
Polishing the alien up for his makeover. I think he's been here since day one, so that's 14 years he's been here. Since we opened the shop. 14 years.
He's not been served yet?
He's still waiting. Yeah, let's dress him up. That's perfect, isn't it? Well, it's a flagship shop, so it gives us a chance to try and put something a wee bit eye-catching out there, a wee kind of attraction. We'll probably turn the range on for the next 15 minutes, then hopefully stuff fried up about half an hour after that, so about 6:30. So open for 6:30, 7 o'clock. So power's on, turn the extraction on, turn the ignition on.
But with only half an hour to go before the shop's 7 o'clock opening time, there's now a problem with the new signage.
It's an electrical problem. Something's still coming on. So let's do the wire.
See, this is the last thing that needs to get done, but this will be the best thing. I'll just bring colour to the whole thing.
So we need to get up there and have a look.
Yeah, I can start frying up. I think I can start frying up. Oh! That final bit of LED just does the trick. Shop looks beautiful. Very happy. Contractors have done well.
They've made their 7 o'clock deadline by minutes.
Chips ready, yeah? We can serve customers. You want to serve?
John vinegar. Yes, please, sir. Thank you very much, Lord.
On the main concourse, Network Rail Shift Station Manager Drew is on the late shift tonight, looking after the station from early evening into the small hours of the morning.
So just a few hours into a long shift. But there is late arrivals coming up for the West Coast main line. So at the moment I'm just patrolling the concourse because there's been, as far as I know, there was a ladies' day air racing and the football events were on today. And just hopefully everything runs smoothly tonight because it is Saturday and it's Glasgow. Saturday nights they keep you going, so they sort of test you. Anything can happen and you don't know what you're getting into. Hello, neighbour of Glasgow Central. There has been 3 spillages in the recent 10-15 minutes due to alcohol being spilled, balls being smashed in the concourse. So that's the result. Put cones in and look, we still get people walk through it. Look.
As the night wears on, the revellers who attended the air races today start to filter back into the station.
One of these things where obviously they're going down with them smartly dressed and then they have a few bottles of champagne when they're down the air racing and they come back to see what condition they come back up in. And then hopefully they'll all behave. So.
We've lost everything. We have no done. I had such a great day. I won I don't know, 5 out of 7. I had so much luck. It was just fab. So much fun.
We won. Yeah.
No, you won.
The weather was good. Very good day.
Sorry.
He won lots of money. He started off with a good winner, so yeah. Apart from Royce and we're going to find a bar, obviously, in Glasgow. Hopefully at least till 1 o'clock, and then we're thinking of going to the casino with all our winnings.
No winnings. Bye. Night, guys. Bye-bye.
top rail service to East Kilbride.
It's now around 11 o'clock and trains from London Euston are running, but still experiencing delays because of flooding on the tracks.
So it'll be another late night for you.
Well, at the moment it's showing about 20 minutes to 1, so hopefully get on and get away.
See what happens. Hey Martin, see you later. One of the Virgin trains due in about 11, obviously running late with early disruption today. So it looks as if we'll be closing the station a wee bit later tonight.
The station usually shuts at around 1 a.m.
Right, it's 12:33. My last train's not due in 1:10 Might be 1:20 now. I've just put 28 taxis away to different areas of the west of Scotland and as far as Stirling and Edinburgh. The furthest one today has been, we've had about 4 taxis for Robin.
When delays cause passengers to miss their last onward connections, train operators will do their best to get passengers where they need to be.
The hardest days in here are the disruption days, but the most satisfying days is the days because you know you've done a great job and you've got somebody where they're going. Your voice goes because you're constantly talking and you can only get so many cups of tea.
Final train, the last service for London Euston's arrived in, so we're just waiting the remaining of the passengers. And then hopefully we'll be putting in taxis on their way home after a long day, I imagine.
What have we got here, guys?
So that's 2 for Stirling.
Stirling, that one. Come on in, come on with me.
Nearly there, man.
We're playing a blinder, Martin.
See my delays.
Just these final taxis and then we'll shut these beautiful gates.
And finally, at 1:30 in the morning, Martin's finished his long shift.
And we need a round of applause.
And the station is closed. Good night. That's it.
Paul Lyons is the station's tour guide. He runs the popular tours of the hidden areas of Central, always informed by his passion for the past.
The tour's been going now for nearly 6 years. It's just been myself. I've enjoyed it, but sometimes it's been quite difficult to deal with everything on my toad.
So Paul now has a new colleague.
This is Jackie. Jackie
Hi.
started with the railway just, what was that, a couple of months ago now?
Yes.
Jackie's joined Central staff to help run and expand the historical tours.
Absolutely delighted to be able to say I'm working here. I think the station has really gripped me, just taken it to my heart, and I want to do well.
Be interesting to see next week you've got your first late tour, because you're on late shift next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
Your 3 late days, long days. But I think there's 2 the tours are sold out.
So am I doing 6 that day?
Jackie's still in training as a new Central tour guide. But she also has another job. Down in the station's lower levels, she's working to establish a station museum, which will become part of the official tours.
Oh, what's in here? Oh, what a goodies.
And here in the new museum space, they're gathering objects which can tell Central's story.
It's a map of the railways, the tracks
And
into the
Glasgow
station
itself.
and Greater Glasgow. It's not just Central Station, so this one here covers Central and Queen Street Station.
The museum is a long-term project and will take some months to complete.
Somebody's chicken McNuggets.
Here's one.
The museum is a challenge, and I'm so excited about it, and it'll be great once we get it up and running.
Jackie is on a mission today. She wants to explore a long abandoned room in the lower levels of the station, hoping she might find some interesting history there to share in the new museum.
We're going in here to the old communications centre, and I have my trusty handyman here to help me and make sure that I'm kept safe, and also they're going to be doing the lifting of all the stuff to bring it out. I'm just looking.
Along with maintenance workers Davey and Kev, Jackie will head through station offices down to an old comms room.
This is actually where they used to send the telegraphs during the war. The reason it's down, as far as down as it is, was to keep it safe from the bombs in case the station was bombed, so that communication lines could be kept open.
The room hasn't been in use since the 1970s.
Stunning piece of fashion accessory. And this is to help me see when I'm in
Looking
the tunnel.
good.
You think?
Okay, let's go.
I'll let you go first.
I'll go first. Lead the way. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I was a tightrope walker in my last life.
Oh, nice one.
An old Bakelite phone here, rather dusty, if you can see. That gives you an idea just how dirty it is in here.
For you. It's for you.
It's for me.
I think it's a clock. It's an old clock.
We're hoping to put stuff into the museum. We don't want to just fill it with any old memorabilia. We want it absolutely relevant stuff for Central Station. This is saying that this is the watt amplifier for the Polmadie signal box. A schematic diagram. What you got, Kev?
It's a wiring symbols in written circuits, and it's dated July 1949.
Wow, wow, this is a really good. Well done, you, young man. That's fantastic. And look at the condition this is in. Superb. We'll get that framed and put that in. This looks as though it could be one of the machines. Not sure if it's...
The mechanisms are working.
Yep, could be an old ticket machine. The pieces are just the start of the story. Without the people behind these pieces, we don't know how they were used. We don't know what they were used for. So we need to... It's almost like a bit of a jigsaw. So this is the first part of the jigsaw. The people are the next part. Then we'll put it in the museum, and hopefully it'll generate more stories and more memories. That's what brings it alive.
1983. What was on the telly, Dave?
Rent a Ghost was on.
Nah, Top Gear. What else? Take the high road, that's getting back a bit.
But right now, my guys are going to take this up the stairs for me. Thank you, dear. So we're just going to put this here until Paul and I have got some time to come down, clean it up, and then really go through it. Because it's very exciting. Very exciting. But at the moment, I just feel really filthy.
That's not dirty. That's dirty.
And that's common sense.
In the travel centre near the main entrance, customer service assistants Lorraine and Esther are hard at work.
What were we singing this morning?
We were singing Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you? Yeah, I've been broken-hearted, blue since the day we parted. My, how I ever let you go?
Mamma Mia. Right, that's it. That's all the words I know. She's good, isn't she? No.
I've worked with Lorraine since 2001, and she's my singing partner and sometimes bad influence.
Lorraine and Esther have worked for Virgin for many years, but they both began their careers before the era of rail privatisation.
I started working in the railways in 1978. I worked for Travellers Fair, and that was the catering side of the railway. And then I moved about 3 years later into British Rail.
I've been in the railway since 1986. I started off as a ticket examiner in the North Clyde line. I met my husband when I worked at Yoker, and he started and had to shadow me for a week, and we became friends for about 2 years, and then he asked me out, so it was romantic.
In 1983, we moved down here. This was a newly refurbished travel centre, and that was predominantly male. There was no females worked in the windows, so I was kind of one of the first. I was the pioneer. Now I'm still in the same place 41 years on.
Today, our railways are run and maintained by a combination of publicly owned and private companies. But when rail privatisation began in the 1990s, former British rail workers like Esther and Lorraine had to adapt to the coming changes.
In 1993, everybody was apprehensive. I can remember having tea and cakes on the train the last night with a few ticket examiners, saying this is the last time we'll be able to do this together, working for British Rail. It was an institution.
Arrival on these coaches, please stand well clear of the platform's edge.
People were very apprehensive in case they get paid off, in case their jobs changed dramatically. Scared at first, but then after a few months they were okay because they knew things were going to be okay.
Virgin Trains, along with the privatised ScotRail brand, were among the first private train operators to begin running services in Central.
When I first started, Richard Branson was so good to us. Everybody wanted to work for Virgin.
Privatisation, it was quite an exciting time as well, to go into something new. We had a nice new uniform, and it was very exciting because we were working for a big brand name. This was the new start.
It was just something I'm so glad I lived through. If someone treats you really good for the work you're doing, then you want to go that extra mile for them.
Will I ever let you go, Mamma Mia? Jamie, you singing along?
More than 25 years after rail privatisation began, some would like to see a complete renationalisation of the country's railways back on the agenda.
I think privatisation was a great thing for us to learn from and how to run a business, and I think we've learned an awful lot from it if we wanted to renationalise it again.
The Virgin franchise for the West Coast Main Line is now coming to an end after more than 20 years. On the station concourse, Alison is planning for some visitors who want to return to the days of a fully nationalised rail system.
At the moment, we have got a planned protest on Facebook that, called Get Glasgow Moving, where they want to take the ownership of the railways and the bus companies back into public ownership. So we're just keeping our eyes open just now, just to see if anyone shows up. We do accommodate protests outside. As long as it's outside the station, we'll do what we can just to make sure everybody's safe. So for us, it's just making sure safety, because obviously we've got a bus that comes in at the front of the station. Quite often protesters don't realise this, and they'll congregate under our canopy. And then we've got buses coming and going, taxis coming and going, and rush hour at the same time. So for us, it's safety we're looking out for.
The protesters will gather outside the station's main entrance.
I think the only reason we were aware of it because it was actually in one of the office staff had seen it come up on our Facebook, events near you, and that's how we found out about it. Hey guys, mind the bus! Bus is coming in! Queen Street, the wee bus will take you, it's just coming in. Mind the bus! Guys, move out of the way, the bus is coming in, move out of the way! I think it could be a full-time job, moving people out of the way of that bus. I'm quite loud anyway, so it's quite all right. Perfect job for me.
Today's protesters would like to see a return to a fully nationalised rail network, rather than the combination of private and public ownership we have today.
We're a public transport campaign and everyone's here standing out for public ownership, so that's really great.
Public ownership now! End the rail rip-off!
But the protesters aren't the only ones wearing their passions on their sleeves today.
So they're going to the Rocky Horror Show at the King's tonight, so I think we'll see quite a few good outfits. That's always a good one. I love it, absolutely great. Have you been before? Never. No, oh, it'll be great. I know.
Dance to the time.
We do, we literally, whenever it's on, we see people coming through the station dressed, and that's how we know the Rocky Horror Show is on. Aye. It'll be brilliant, it'll be brilliant. Enjoy. See you later. I love MD Unusual. I'm straight up to them to have a wee chat with them. I love to find out what they're doing, where they're going, what they're up to, why they're dressed like that.
That's us done today, so we called it a day because it was so wet. But I think there must have been about 30 people turned up and decided to stay out in the rain, so it's really important for us.
That you ladies, have a great night, enjoy. See you later. They have spread their message a wee bit, so they've done what they came to do. So, and they've done it in a good enough manner that's not gave us any problems and any disruptions. It's absolutely fine.
Inside, New Central tour guide Jackie is also hoping for a good turnout. In preparation for her very first tours with the paying public, she has assembled a group of station colleagues to take part in a practice run.
So I rallied round some of the new starts that have come in, one of the guys from one of the retail outlets here, and he said his mum had always wanted to do the tour, so I said, bring her along. Being around the station, talking to myself, reciting my tour. The problem with that is you don't get any feedback, you don't get any real feel for how your material's being delivered. I've been brought on board to take you down into the bowels of Central Station and tell you a wee bit about the history of the station. People are paying money for this tour and they need to get good value for their money, and I want to do a really good job for them. I think I'm worried that I take, like cold feet or, stage fright or whatever, and in the middle of, once you get going, names, dates, lots to remember. I'm not 21 anymore. Grand Central Hotel, or the Central Hotel as most Glaswegians know it. It was opened in 1883. The architect was a man called Robert Rowand Anderson. He designed the hotel and the original station. Became one of the best hotels in Europe, not just in Glasgow, not just in Scotland, in Europe. This was the place to stay with over 200 rooms, and it's got a history second to none. Right, if you just go down to the very first, to the big, large landing, and we'll catch you there. As we go through the station, folks, you will experience lots of different, shall we say, aromas.
Oh my God, absolutely.
But Jackie's tour volunteers have to brave the musty basement smell to hear the station's story.
I really want it to be good. I want to get good feedback. I want for people to feel the emotion that I have delivering the stories. On the 8th of August 1963, probably the most famous train left here, and it became part of the Great Train Robbery. You all heard of the Great Train Robbery? Thank God. A bit rubbish if you hadn't. Hold on a wee second till I just change my cards, make sure I'm doing it in the right order. I think people will support me. I'm going to be honest with them. I think that's the best policy. I don't want to pretend to people that I'm Mrs. Professional and been doing this for years and years. OK, folks, we'll head on. Oh, wait a minute, we've gone the wrong way. I'm too busy, I need to do this. We're doing this, I'm blethering. I better not do this on a live tour. We're going up here. I think I will be exhausted by the end of it. The mental concentration, focusing, remembering all the health and safety that goes along with taking a tour, all of that stuff, all will take its toll. Thank you very much. How was it?
Honestly, fab. It totally brings stuff alive.
Thank you so much, and I can't thank you enough because this has really set me up.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's head up. I need a coffee. I did enjoy it, but I do love doing that. I've always enjoyed. Maybe it's the thespian in my inner self. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it.
Next time on Inside Central Station.
We're celebrating 140 years of the opening of Glasgow Central Station, so that's all exciting.
It's right next to our buffer ends. He's looking not too bad, but he hasn't really moved from there.
Oh, I can see it coming in, actually. You can see the bright lights down there. I'm getting 40s there.
Oh, I feel like walking out, but it's raining.
Okay, I don't care about the rain. Live in Scotland.
I'm on a jacket, though.
So we're stopping here really to let you get your bearings. And see, once you get your bearings, can you share that information with me? Because I've been wandering about here lost for weeks.